It's a brand new day and we are all set to explore more of the beautiful opportunities four-wheel driving around Narbethong. Now the Black Spur Inn has been the perfect base for us. We don't even need to touch the blacktop this morning. We're heading straight south out the back of the inn and into the forest, exploring some of the tracks and seeing if we can get ourselves onto some big hills and into some muddy holes. So join us for another fantastic day exploring Narbethong. Mark, you've seen the big Iveco in action. You reckon you're up for a drive?
You noticed I was keen.
I did. The keys are here. You've got the open road ahead of you. But before you head out on the tracks, you've got some driver training waiting for you on the Safe Trek driver training course.
I think I need some of that.
All right, let's get into it.
Now we'll select second gear or first gear, whichever. Four-wheel drive training has grown immensely. We do a variety of courses, so our basic course, what we call our basic course, is run from here, and that's a theory session of about 3 hours. And we do that down in Melbourne on a Thursday night so that people don't have to travel up here for that. And then we do a full practical day either on a Saturday or a Sunday. By the time they've finished the end of the day, they feel much more comfortable about what's going on. And that's what our courses are about. It's about giving them the understanding about what they should be doing, how they can do it safely, and then move on from there. So then we go on to our more advanced course, putting into practice all the things that they do on the basic course, but in a situation where it's real life. Side slopes, steep hills, bog holes, obstacle crossings, uneven surfaces, water, a bit of everything out there, and that's all within a 100-metre radius. So it's the sort of stuff you're likely to experience in a whole day's four-wheel driving, but it's all in 100 metres. So on the course we'll do that, each person will drive it and I'll be in the vehicle with them as we're going through it, talking them through it. The others will be watching what's going on, looking at wheel articulation and how things work on the car and what cars work best. And it's quite amazing to see people's eyes when they see a car that they think's not very capable doing things that a big four-wheel drive can do.
I bet he's never had his sports car on an angle like that.
Now that I'm in it, you're not going to be able to stop me, mate.
The guys are going to be taking their own vehicles around the track and having a bit of a play out there. And then they'll be heading off into the forest again and seeing some of the really magnificent tracks that we've got around this area. And most of the time, a big percentage of the time, you're no more than a half an hour from the hotel. So if you need help, we might be able to come and help you if you get stuck. Okay?
So we're always talking about Toyota, Nissan and Mitsubishis, but today we're going to talk to you about the Ford Ranger and Mazda BT50 late model vehicles with the 6-speed. Mick's driving a Trek Ford Ranger.
These gearboxes come out with inferior bearings in them, so everyone knows there's a common fault with them. So we've gone in and redesigned some parts internally. Not only have we done the bearings, but we've done other specialised parts inside to stop the whole gear train from twisting under load. We spent about 18 months in R&D and we're finally ready to release this gearbox. So it's a toe-pack 6-speed gearbox for the BT50 and the Ranger.
We've now got over 30 gearboxes in our modified toe-pack range. This particular one is our base toe-pack build, so this one will come with a 12-month unlimited K warranty.
So if you're a Ranger or a BT50 owner that needs something better than standard, come and see us, we'll build you a toe-pack and we'll get you anywhere.
Well guys, most of what we've been doing so far has been very scenic, very pretty and a lot of fun, but not terribly challenging. But this afternoon we found something a little bit more than challenging. It was quite steep. It's called Strickland Spur, and part of it has actually been graded, which I thought, okay, that sort of ruined it a bit. But we found a big section and guess what? Wasn't graded, and it was actually like it's supposed to be. It was really good.
Today the weather's been really good. It's tried to rain a couple of times. It's about 22 degrees. The vehicle performed well. It was quite rocky in some spots. Got hung up once on the springs. It was challenging. It's better to back up, put some rocks underneath there, take your time, then go forward without wrecking the tracks.
Watching some of the other four-wheel drives, which are fairly decently modified, and then watching or feeling this one go over it, it made very easy work of some of those trails. And in fact, when I was trying to take some video of it, it looked a little bit boring. They've got 35s, so they're pretty high-end off-road vehicles. This thing was just crawling straight over everything. And from inside, that suspended seat, I think I said it yesterday as well, makes a difference inside the cab. I think that Simon tends to get more excitement over things that he thinks that he might not be able to make it over. So being a passenger, sometimes I volunteer to jump out and get the video from outside. He was getting a little bit carried away when he saw some of those big rocks. Certainly put the car to some tests, that's for sure. Yesterday's tracks were pretty easy in comparison. Today, started to see what these cars can do, and actually it was quite exciting. Thankfully there was sort of pauses between, so you're sort of cruising between sections. Now and then you get some pretty hectic downhill sections with big chunks of rocks and big steps in them. Simon, being Simon, decided he wanted to go back up the spots that we'd already been down because he needed to prove a point that he could do it. It's been interesting to watch Simon as he's going down some of these trails, because there's 3 different gear shift levers. I think that's like a triple Millennium anti-theft device. So we've got 3 different ways to shift gears. So I've been watching him on that. So hopefully I might not embarrass myself because I've been paying a bit of attention.
Today Simon's got his new toy and he's been playing it on the track. So I've got to tell you, there are times it gets a bit boring back here and you need a cup of tea. So we've got a thing called 30-second kitchen. Now let me show you exactly how it works. So guys, this is the 30-second kitchen. Open up here, pull the pin, grab the box, drop this down, attach, attach. And guys, we're ready for action. We're ready to make a cup of tea now. Stove's in there, water's over here, ready to go. The great thing about this is you've got a flat surface to work on. You've got your water, you've got your fridge, you've got your oven with all those lovely foods and things you can, pies, pasties, all sorts of good stuff. Very, very quick and easy to deploy, suitable for virtually every vehicle. And this is exactly what it is, guys. It's basically a kitchen you can set up in probably less than 30 seconds. A flat space area here, all your teacups, coffee, your stove, all your bits and pieces. Instant deployment, what more could you want? As we were driving along, a lot of people have music blaring and radios going. I like to have my window open, which unfortunately lets a lot of dust into the car. But as I was driving along, I could hear psh, choo. I thought, that ain't a good sound. So I stopped to the psh, got out and had a look, and the tyre was almost completely down to the ground. By the time I got out of the car, the rim was actually touching the ground.
This is not the spot where you want to be changing tyres. It's a little bit steep, definitely uneven and not safe. Forward a little, Al, and across.
It was quite dangerous where it was, so it was safer to put plugs in than put it on jacks.
Is it hissing a lot?
Even with fantastic tyres like I'm running, on a track like that running very low pressures, we had a disaster. We actually ripped the inside of the sidewall out, probably about 15 millimetres long, quite a large rip. So we put plugs in it. That's good. Plugging it's quicker, safer, and a far better solution, guys. Another one, Simon?
It took a little bit of time, took about 7 or 8 plugs.
If I had not seen that in person, I wouldn't have thought you could actually physically fix a sidewall of a tyre. So that was good to see in person, because now I know what to do. So I'm going to go grab one of those repair kits for myself to keep in my 4B.
Having an air compressor, if you're letting a tyre down and pumping it up, you can go very slowly, it doesn't matter. But when you're trying to reseed a tyre back on the bead again, or trying to fix a big leak like this, you need a gutsy compressor. A little just won't do the job. You need something that puts a fair rush of air to overcome that leak. Simon actually put his finger in the leak, stopped it from leaking while we could get more air to put the plugs in. But that gutsy compressor is an important thing. I use that for running my diff locks, I use it for pumping up tyres, all sorts of things. It's a great thing to have on board.
Being prepared plays a big part. So having an air compressor and the right tools to fix the tyre, some plugs and a tyre repair kit makes all the difference. Only took us about 5 minutes, job done. We're back mobile, let's get going.
The first couple of days I'd spent in the passenger seat, and today I finally got to have a play with it in the driver's seat. It's a bit daunting getting something that big. Once you're in it though, it just drives like a normal four-wheel drive. Turning circle, a little bit less than a normal four-wheel drive though. It was good to have a bit of a play and put those newly acquired skills and get some confidence in something this size.
Come and get it! Cream donut for entree, leftover from yesterday, which I'd rubbed up against Tim Tam, so it was especially delicious. And now pastrami and salami. Wow. Good work.
Alan from Piranha copped a puncture on his tire while we're sitting on the track. We could hear it, so we repaired that.
So yet again we are fixed, ready for action.
The track got a little bit deceiving at the start. It was a little bit overgrown, kind of meandering through, just something like you'd find a picnic spot at the end of it, and then boom, we hit it. There's rock steps, ledges. We've got some really capable vehicles, and we got a few vehicles that we thought, oh, this is gonna be fun.
Once you get to about 2/3 of the way up, it turns into a nice big solid sheet of rock, plenty of traction. So it's a continuation of pit track right to the top of the hill to the lookout.
Bit of guidance, bit of control, deflockers, every button you could press, we put it in and made it to the top, and it's sensational.
Great drive, Al. Let's get the next vehicle up.
Truth be told, I'm a bit of a wuss. I'm afraid of heights, and every time we go on an angle, I'm so scared of rolling over. So I promised Brian I'd just sit and enjoy it. We just went up beautifully. That was the first one that I actually really enjoyed. It was absolutely awesome.
That's a diversity of vehicles climbing the toughest track we have done all weekend. It goes to show a little bit of guidance, a little bit of experience, and good quality accessories on your 4x4, and you can make a giant hill, this just looks disastrous, into a nice easy highway. Sure, it's a bit of a challenge, but it's achievable. So let's bring the big Iveco up and the convoy's done.
Simon in the mighty Iveco got to the top and we could hear a little bit of ooh. We look over and his back tyre has blown out. Made it to the top with a puncture in the back right tyre.
One of his 37s copped a bit of a gouge down the side of it. So it's got a bit of a hole in the side of it now that's been patched up with some of the stuff from Piranha. I didn't think that they would be able to fix that sidewall damage, but held together.
Just unbelievable vehicle. Well, we've just pulled up for lunch and my number one customer is already waiting. So we've got the Kinjet from Primus. This is the new 2-burner Primus stove. So the stove runs off a butane gas bottle. The gas stays really nice and high in it. You don't get any of that loss of flame from the wind because it's got a good wind protection at the back. Primus have brought out a range of pots and pans. It's got 3 little pots in this particular one. It's got a handle, so you can use it for steaming, use it for your soups, and you can also use it for eating out of. One of the pots is Teflon, so you can cook inside like your eggs and bacon, it's not going to stick to it. Now I've just done the food for the crew for lunch. Yep, all happy. There's no one getting any more demanding than me. And I reckon it's a great product. Got them all in store, come in and have a look at the range.
Today is the day of the 10th year of the Black Saturday bushfire. Marysville will struggle a bit, and the communities that surround those who are peer support coming on up. We want to just stand with them and help them through this day.
King Lake, Marysville and around were just devastated. Lots of us were impacted in that way. I had a couple of friends that lost their lives at Black Saturday bushfires. 10 years on, it's back to life. There's still some people that will never come back to the area, but the area is thriving now. Marysville's alive again and prospering.
There's a lot of people in the area that haven't been able to forget. There's a lot of people that have left. We had something like 1,600 or 1,700 residents in the Marysville area before the fires. We're down to 400 or 500 now. We need more people up here. We've got a lot of adventure activities. We've got trail bike riding, bushwalking, we've got the ski fields, and we've got beautiful waterfalls. We're 80 kilometres from Melbourne. We're so close, and it's just a treasure.
Here we are at this magnificent Stevenson Falls. Stevenson Falls is just out of Marysville, about a 5-minute drive, and 10 years ago when the fires came through here, this whole area was burnt out. All this is revegetation and regrowth, but the place has just come back to life all over again. This is a magical place to visit. It's only a short distance from Melbourne, and despite all the noise of the water in the background, it is just lovely. We've just been sitting over in the bench in the shade with the tree ferns, smelling the fresh air. It's just beautiful.
The falls themselves are one of the biggest in Victoria, with a drop of over 122 metres in total. Well, we're nearly at the end of our awesome 3-day adventure in the Marysville, Toolangi area, and it has been a ball.
I normally live in the city when I'm up in Brizzy, and normally driving cars a lot lower to the ground, so it was a good experience to sort of get out and about and see some places you can't get at with a normal road car, so it was fantastic.
So when you're out doing your favourite 4-wheel drive tracks, make sure you visit these local communities, put back into the area. It's just fantastic.
So we've had a great day, and as I always say, this is an area you should come and visit. It's so close. Beautiful countryside, beautiful weather, blue skies. It's been a great, great trip.
We have had a brilliant couple of days exploring the tracks and four-wheel drive opportunities from Narbethong through to Marysville. The team and I would like to put out a big shout out to all of the locals, emergency services and volunteers who've put so much into rebuilding the local communities. This area offers a huge diversity of four-wheel drive tracks, great scenery and plenty of history. It's well worth a visit, so come out here and explore the four-wheel drive tracks, support the local towns and put a little bit back into the community yourself. I'm Simon Christie. Thank you for watching Life Off-Road. Tread lightly, keep it safe, play hard. We'll see you next week.